truck in her zone. Beep, beep, going slow and steady. Her truck's a dance and she's always ready. She's got the moves no map can show. Trucker Cassie's got a back and glow.
Is it just me or does this truck look really good? Damn. Welcome back to summer 2024. In this timeline I have just picked up the new city trailer in Gothenburg with my grey Scania R450. And I was having the time of my life. I couldn't wait to start working with my new trailer. I went straight to Falkenberg, about an hour away from Gothenburg, to load my first cargo. Windows. If you have been on my channel for a while, you know that this company I was driving for went bankrupt shortly after this time. But towards the end, it was hauling a lot of windows. These pallets are surprisingly stable, even if they look a bit wobbly. I had to make the best of the space I had, since this trailer takes less pallet units than a rigid truck and trailer. And of course, no window has a standard size, so some puzzling was needed during this loading. I have just loaded the first time with a new city trailer. I really like it this far. I realize I'm taking out the turns like I normally do with a normal size trailer, but this one is following along. The rear axle is actually steering, so it's following extremely well. So now we have cargo. I'm gonna go sleep somewhere and then I'm going home to Nyköping tomorrow. It's a great day. It's super windy though. Oof. So my job today was to fill my new trailer with windows, drive it back home to Nyköping and then unload it at the terminal for the other drivers to pick it up. I really enjoyed this drive. It was fun to drive a bit further than I normally do. I prefer few loadings/unloadings during a day, compared to lots of stops with lots of customer contact, since I am an introvert after all. Instead of stressing around and looking for addresses that might not even exist on Google Maps, I prefer to enjoy the highway and a good podcast, or some good music, until it's time for unloading.
When I was young, I used to live out of nowhere. That was the place I called my home. Deep in my mind, I heard the call to adventure, so I told my father I would go. He said to me, "Don't worry, my son. Always move on, never back down. Honor your mama, be proud of your town. The journey is long, but you got what you need. Don't stop believing in what you can see. Humble and strong is what you were born to be." When you're away, the winter seems to be cold.
And we are back in Nyköping. Here I unload my own cargo with this forklift. This place is a big between hand for a lot of cargo. The trucks pick up the goods from far away and unload it here, where usually smaller trucks take over and deliver it to local customers. It feels pretty cool to be able to unload your own pallets like this.
There's nothing for you looking back. The more things change, they stay the same. Our deepest roots will never lose. Always move on, never back down.
Besides the sewing machine license I got in my lower school years, a forklift certificate was the first type of driver's license I got. Then followed the license for driving cars, heavy trucks, and lastly, truck with a trailer attached. All around the age of 19 for me. In Sweden you can get this education through school, directly translated to the Vehicles and Transport Education. I was actually not sure if I wanted to become a truck driver when I applied for this school, but I thought a free driver's license is always a good thing to have. Then I got to drive a heavy truck for the first time, and yeah, we all know how that went. For the first time in my life, I felt like I truly belonged somewhere. Being in control of such a big and expensive vehicle just felt euphoric. I started working as soon as I got my heavy truck license. So daytime I went to school, and during the evenings I worked a little extra, delivering food to the grocery stores. I felt so happy and proud that I had found my thing in life. After I'm done with the forklift, I put it back where I found it, connect the charger cable again, so that the next driver can have a fully charged forklift. Nice. Isn't it the worst when you're looking around for the forklift and eventually you find it in a corner, crying, begging to get charged again? Ugh. Nope, we don't want that. Let's move on.
Her truck's her home, her freedom's key. Rolling past the lakes and tall pine trees, with the summer breeze through the open glass. Every mile's a moment, she lets time pass. Rolling through Sweden, where the wildflowers grow. The hum of the engine, the life she knows under soft summer skies. She finds her way, trucker Cassie, chasing another day. She waves to a farmer by the roadside stand, nod of respect, wave of her hand. The radio hums as she hums along. A peaceful heart carries her song.
Okay, so this trailer has a lift in the back. So I was a bit confused on how to activate it, because it needs power, right? And it turns out here we have this box. Press once to get it on, and 2 times start a timer on 60 seconds, minutes. And now the lift is working. Now we can go in and unload the first delivery for the day. Wow, my hair! I really love this truck. It's been one of my favorite trucks in my trucking career. And I'm sad my time with this truck didn't last very long, since the company went bankrupt shortly after I got to start calling it mine. The flexibility of the city trailer was unbeatable. I could get into so many places that couldn't be reached with a rigid truck and trailer, or just a normal semi-trailer for that matter. This trailer was shorter and had a steering last axle, a dream to drive, both forward and backwards. However, I did have a delivery that not even this trailer could handle. I didn't do any filming during this delivery, but I still want to tell you about it. It was a delivery with 9 pallets of windows and other things needed for installing windows. On buildings, not in your PC. I'm funny. I did what I always do. I checked the address on Google Maps and it seemed to be close to a resident parking lot where about 20 cars or so can park. It looked narrow for even a smaller truck, without a trailer. I felt nervous, but still pretty confident, since I had seen how flexible the trailer is. So I'm driving in as far as I can on the parking lot, dodging parking signs, trees, picket fences. You could tell a truck did not belong there. When parked, I look at the map again and realize the delivery address goes a few hundred meters into a path designed for walking traffic, and a normal-sized car could just fit in. Oh, behind a hedge as well. Hedge. Apparently they were gonna change windows on the back of a building that was located to the back of a little forest. I call the customer and tell them I have arrived as close as I could. They look at my truck and then look back at the pathway they came walking from. Can't you drive all the way in there? I just stare at him and I say, no. That's physically impossible, my dude. Even if my truck would jump over the edge and get to the other side, it still wouldn't fit there. So we end up unloading the truck in the parking lot and the customer insists on pulling the jack pallet with the pallets all the way to its destination. It wasn't that far, it's just a couple of 100 meters, but still. It wasn't a hassle on that part at least, since it was asphalt all the way. Meanwhile, I am calculating on how to get out from the parking lot. I had no choice but to do a 90-degree reverse out while avoiding rocks, trees and fences. It was a challenge, but I felt so proud of myself that I could get out of there without damaging me, the truck, or anything around us. I actually got some people watching me while I was reversing. It felt pretty cool. And then I called my dispatch and questioned how on earth was this scheduled to be made on my truck and trailer. Yeah. Moving on to another interesting delivery, the tiny wheel loader. I was gonna do the last pickup for the day and all I knew was the address of the pickup and not what kind of cargo it was. I parked outside the building and they told me to reverse up to a little ramp. Then they asked if they should load the machine or if I wanna do it. And I think they could read the panic in my eyes and said, alright, we'll do it.
That's how it goes. I just fly away, showing off.
I never realized you can deliver machines like this in a trailer like mine. This trailer was a slightly bit lower than the other trucks I used to drive, but gladly the height was just enough here.
I'm a Viking trucker, that's who I am. I'm a rolling FH 16700, going through the Rockies on my way to
Alright, this is new for me. I have securement here. I don't have any hooks available, so or there's like no way to secure with hooks, so I'm gonna use my regular straps in the front and in the back. Strap it down so it doesn't move. We do not want that. Wait, I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, here. This would be easier if I wasn't filming. The real challenge was to unload this machine at the terminal. It was again one of these deliveries where I just do a part of the delivery and someone else takes over midway. This is a big terminal where lots of goods get unloaded every day. They did not have a fancy ramp for unloading machines, so I backed up to a dock like I normally do. And the staff was very confused and told me to unload it outside, and I asked, how do you expect me to do that? They were also concerned that the floor may not hold the weight of the machine. But in the end I got permission to unload it here. Then came the next challenge. How on earth do I start the machine? I feel like a somewhat smart person, but here I felt so dumb it's unbelievable. The terminal staff tried to get it going too, but no success. Then I actually used a lifeline and called a friend that recently got into heavy machine transports. Shout out to Sam. He guided me on how to start the machine and get it rolling. It was a big moment. And it felt so wrong to drive a machine like this in a forklift terminal. But it was a delivery I will remember.
Cassie rolls with a grin so wide. Big rig humming on the countryside. Camera rolling as the wheels do spin.
So this is it. These are the moments I got with this truck. They sure were happy days. Sadly, I often had to drive a rigid truck and trailer instead, since the city trailer had less space in it. Well, that is what it was designed for. Oh well, I'm grateful for this time and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great summer.
Trucker Cassie